Yeah,
You're good
we're
to go.
just
You're
trying
good
to
to
get
go.
the opportunity to talk
Yeah.
about it, Ken or his staff,
Sorry about that.
about the non-cooperation ordinance, and we're gonna hopefully have someone come down and meet with us downstairs. Thanks.
All right.
Or shouldn't we ask to go in?
Well, nobody's responding. So we've rung the doorbell and we've knocked and there's no response. Is this really true? Is this really true that on Monday?
Democracy
At
calling.
about 4:10? Democracy calling, yeah, hello?
It does say by appointment.
Right,
It
I
didn't-
understand
I mean, they
that,
didn't
but
do
there,
that
How do you
for
make an
us.
appointment if
but
they won't answer the
but this
phone?
is an elected official,
Well,
this is
yeah,
Monday through
right.
Friday, someone
Right, they
could
call.
And if
respond
you-
to the
if
door
they
and
wouldn't-
say,
right, if they
do you
wouldn't-
have an appointment? No, okay, well, let me chat with you. Could do that.
You know, it says on the card
Disappointing.
there, Mondays by
doesn't
appointment
answer
only.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand,
Oh,
but
okay.
still.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if they.
Yeah, let's go back downstairs.
Let's go back down. I've emailed him and he's never responded except for the
Let's go
form
back
letter.
down.
Yeah,
Do we do a take two?
and we're gonna, yeah, video is walking away dejectedly.
Shame, 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 shame. Shame, 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 shame. Shame, 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 shame,
Carlson does not
shame,
meet with his
shame,
residents.
shame, shame,
Meet with your voters.
shame, 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 shame,
Shame.
shame, shame.
This is just gonna make him mad. Let him. Let him mad.
How can he be that when?
He's being
You can't make an appointment on the appointment day.
No one answers the doorbell, no one answers when you knock.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming, and I'm gonna hand it over to Matthew first to kind of get us started.
Yeah, all right. So I certainly want to express my heartfelt thanks for everybody for showing up. It really is appreciated. This is an important issue to a lot of our friends and neighbors, some of my coworkers. This is an important topic. Not to Contra Costa needs to take a strong stand against ICE, Border Patrol, and the American fascism that's taken root in our federal government. Especially now that Concord has the only immigration court in the region, we need to take a strong stance and have an enforceable non-cooperation ordinance on the books. Some of my friends have been working with Supervisor Carlson to make that happen, until Carlson decided to push for a non-binding policy. He was doing the right thing by meeting with affected community members, organizations representing those community members like the Contra Costa Immigrant Rights Alliance, and he was otherwise willing to discuss the issue. Once Carlson decided to push the idea of a non-binding policy instead of a county-wide ordinance, those meetings stopped. The stakeholders have been silenced by his unwillingness to discuss this further. Tomorrow, the Board of Supervisors meets and plans to discuss the policy option again. There is a good chance that they will adopt this policy, which does nothing to address the root cause of issues at hand. If you could attend the meeting in person or on Zoom, please do so. We want an enforceable ordinance which would make the decision to cooperate with the fascist ICE and Border Patrol a personal choice that holds personal consequences. People are scared, and the county is not providing the leadership on this matter that we need to alleviate those fears with a toothless policy. Supervisor Carlson, the community is aware that as chair of the Equity Committee, Supervisor Carlson is not only forwarding the two recommendations to the full board, but he could be the third vote in support of it being an ordinance with greater protections. Without your vote, it will likely pass as a policy. At the Equity Committee, Supervisor Carlson proposed that the ordinance affects the general public or citizenry or everyone in the jurisdiction, and a policy affects only departments, employees, and locations. However, a county ordinance would give the county the opportunity to impose fees or fines for violations. What is the consequence of breaking the proposed policy? There is no language in the policy and implementation or consequences. Further, this policy has a final statement that gives departments the freedom to develop their own policies that then supersede the policy. So it's toothless. You are now blocking stronger protections without explanation. You can reject an enforceable ordinance that would close loopholes. You are rejecting an enforceable ordinance that would close loopholes while offering no clear or transparent rationale for why a weaker policy is acceptable. This is directly undermining access to services. When people fear enforcement, they do not go to county clinics, they do not report violence, and community members may never walk into the Safe Center even when they need help the most. This contradicts your leadership on the Safe Center. You have championed the Safe Center as a place of safety and healing, yet you are not supporting an ordinance that would make immigrant survivors feel safe enough to access those services. We ask that you meet with your constituents to discuss the distinctions between an ordinance and a policy. You have repeatedly refused to meet with the very community you are supposed to represent. Despite multiple requests from advocates, legal experts, and impacted residents, you have chosen to not engage, while families are simply asking for our representatives to provide protections that affect their everyday safety in accessing county services. You have ignored clear and consistent community demands, while community members have shown up to meetings, submitted public comments, and spoken about real fears about accessing services, and yet you continue to advance a weakened policy. Your actions are putting families at risk. By allowing contractor loopholes and conflicting policies, you are leaving the door open for harmful interactions with immigration enforcement that will lead to family separation, fear of reporting unlawful detention, and communities staying silent. You are choosing a symbolic policy over real protection. A policy without enforcement is not safe, it is performative. It is time to listen and act. Meet with the community. Hear the reality families are facing. Support a strong non-cooperation ordinance that actually protects people. And Supervisor Carlson, let me remind you that as a Democrat, you're expected to stand on the right side of history and in alignment with the Democratic Party values this decision represents. Thank you so much again for making it out here and contacting the supervisor's offices. After I that's what I've got.
Thank you so much.
Harry, would you like to?
Okay. So my comments were going. I don't think so. I can speak up. Thanks. My comments were going to begin by thanking Supervisor Carlson for meeting with us. Of course, he didn't, and so we're out here in front. You know, ICE is causing serious harm to immigrants and their families. As of April 4, ICE held more than 60,000 people in detention across the U.S. At least 52 people died in ICE custody in the U.S. between the start of the Trump administration and June 4, 2026.
How many?
52 people. I believe.
It's a car. It's a
Yeah, is that a car?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's on its way up. Okay, good. I believe you agree with this, Supervisor Carlson. I was going to say that the county should ensure that immigrant residents can safely access county health care, schools, social services, courts, and public facilities without fear of detention or deportation. We believe that immigrant safety in this regard can best be achieved through an enforceable ICE non-cooperation ordinance, not a policy. Departments can violate policies without facing the same consequences as violating the law. We want to be able to hold the county departments and the sheriff's department accountable. Trump is a fascist intent on destroying our democracy. ICE is his Gestapo. If you believe that characterization is extreme, then perhaps you do not see Trump as a serious threat. An ICE non-cooperation policy resolution is scheduled for a vote at tomorrow's Board of Supervisors meeting. In our view, this agenda item was hastily added for the simple purpose of ending the public hearing process already underway to adopt a legally binding ICE non-cooperation ordinance. You will likely achieve your vote at tomorrow's board meeting to adopt an ICE non-cooperation policy, but we will see you at a future board meeting. In the meantime, we will work tirelessly to build a public hearing process for adopting an ordinance that safeguards immigrants' access to county community services. We will work with the Democratic Party clubs, labor and social justice organizations. Lift Up Contra Costa, a coalition of social justice organizations that includes my union, SEIU Local 1021, and the Labor Council, has already started a petition demanding that you stop undermining the process to adopt an ICE non-cooperation ordinance. And I was going to say, again, thank you for hearing us. But
So OG.
Sure. Well, like the previous speakers, I was counting on our being able to have an audience with Supervisor Carlson or one of his staff. And I can't tell you how disappointed I am that a public official would not have someone available during weekday business hours to acknowledge us and interact with us and listen to us, at least carry our messages back. I think that's deplorable. It's unacceptable. So, like the others who have spoken, were Supervisor Carlson to have been present, here is what I would say to him. I'm OG Strogatz. I'm a volunteer with Indivisible Resistors Contra Costa. Supervisor Carlson, acknowledging your pivotal role as chair of the Equity Committee and as your constituent, I am looking to your leadership to advocate for a loophole-free ICE non-cooperation ordinance. I do not understand your support up until now for a weakened policy that has no legal enforceable consequences. I cannot reconcile your support up until now for a weakened policy with your having championed the Safe Center. How can you advocate for the Safe Center as a place of safety and healing for our immigrant families, friends, and neighbors without advocating at the same time for a strong ICE non-cooperation ordinance so people actually will feel safe enough to seek the center's services? It just doesn't make sense. The logic for the ordinance is clear. It's compelling. Our communities are facing ever more intense threats. Please, please listen. Lead the board to approve a strong non-cooperation ordinance that protects us all.
Thank you. And we have one last speaker, I think, Danny.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm with Lift Up Contra Costa. As Harry mentioned, we're a coalition of 7 different organizations. We represent over 150,000 Contra Costa working families. And as someone that's been a part of this conversation with Ken Carlson and others since the beginning, I did actually want to start by thanking him for being willing to meet with folks and talk about these things. What's happened between those beginning conversations and now, I'm not exactly sure what has happened. But what we do know is that we have a lot of great ordinances as examples in other counties that we've been pulling from. Contra Costa is one of the last counties that has not brought forth some sort of ordinance or policy, and even some of the other policies are a lot stronger, right? And so it's it's been way too long. We need this like now. And the other thing is we've already seen an increase in ICE presence just in the last week. Not only with the new Concord Immigration Court, but just this last week we knew people from Concord and Antioch were actually detained, and so we know that the presence is ramping up. And so we need these protections now. And we need to make sure that any county or city resources are not going to aiding federal agents. And yeah, I'm just here in support of all the constituents, and I think that, as Harry mentioned, we've gotten just under 800 signatures to all the Board of Supervisors urging them to pass that ordinance. And so we're excited to have this conversation with the board tomorrow, and we'll be out there to advocate for it. And so yeah, just wanted to be here and support it.
Thank you. All right, does anyone want to lead us in a final sort of chant or as we prepare ourselves emotionally for tomorrow?
Maybe not a chant, but you know, I just can't help but notice that he had a pride sign on his door, but I guess that doesn't really matter when the LGBT comunidad is asking for your help, for themselves, for their familia, for their everyday lives. And it was just all a boost for your performance, for your career. So that's cool to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can say, we will remember together. We will remember. We will remember.
Together.
We will remember. We will remember.
Together.
See everybody at the board meeting tomorrow. Thank you all for showing up today. We appreciate you. Thank you, Matthew, for getting us going.